Welcome to Talk Football. I'm your host of the most, Tinashe, and I'm joined by my co-host this evening, as ever, Shihab and Nabi. Starting with you, Shihab, how are you doing?
Yeah, not bad. Doing well.
Good. How about you, Nabi? How you
That's all
doing?
I got to say.
Yeah, doing okay.
Good. Um, Before we kick off, we'll just put it out there. Our socials will be in the description, so make sure to please like, follow, and interact. It does not cost you a penny. It is absolutely free, and it helps us reach more audiences. Moving on from that, this one will be a bit of a different one. Obviously, now we're getting into the Christmas period, and the Premier League fixtures are coming thick and quickly. So this show will be a preview review. So we'll be previewing game week 12 and reviewing game week 13, which starts tonight, actually. Kicking off with that. What
The
we'll
other
do...
way around, isn't it?
Sorry?
You're reviewing game week 12 and you're previewing game week 13.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say, if that's not what I said.
I'm sure the audience will understand what you meant anyways.
Yeah.
We all did.
Just to quickly kick off, actually, we'll go through the fixtures. I guess starting with Arsenal Burnley. Nabi?
Positives? Let's talk about the positives.
Oh no, I was gonna go through the fixtures first. The thing.
Oh, the predictions.
The predictions, sorry, yeah. Nabi, you went for a draw, and Barnes as your player to watch came off the bench. Nabi and Shabs, you also went for a draw, and Rodriguez your player to watch, and I went for a 2-1 Arsenal win. Aubameyang my player to watch, and obviously he scored.
He made it
an
count,
own goal.
didn't he?
Just as well, I didn't have him in my fantasy football team. And going to the Liverpool game, Shabs, you went for a 3-0 Liverpool win. Mane to watch. That was me. Sorry. 3-0 Liverpool win. Mane to watch. And Shabs, you went 2-0 Robertson to watch. And Adam, you went 4-0 Salah to watch. And obviously he got the penalty. And the 1-1 draw. And the City United game, Shabs, you went for a 3-1 and Mahrez to watch. I went for a 4-2 and Mahrez to watch also. And Nabi, you went for a 2-1 United and Bruno to watch. And it was obviously a snooze fest at 0-0. And Everton-Chelsea game. Nabi, you went for a draw actually, and Richarlison to watch. Shabs, you went for a 2-1 Chelsea win. Pulisic to watch, and I went for a 3-2 Chelsea win, and Timo Werner to watch. And Chelsea lost 1-0 that game away to Everton. And then Spurs Palace. Shihab, you went for a 2-2 and draw. Sorry, you went for a 2-2, and Zaha to watch. And Nabi, you went for a 2-1 and Kane to watch. Obviously, Kane got the goal. And then I went for 0-0 and Gaeta to watch, who actually performed really well that game as well. I'm pretty sure he got some bonus points on fantasy.
That finished 1-1, didn't it? That one?
Yeah, that was a draw.
Those predictions didn't go very well, did they?
Nah.
We move on.
Yeah. I guess starting with the fixtures for with the Arsenal results actually. Arsenal got beat off Burnley at home, 4th straight defeat. First time since like 1959, I think. 1-0. It was an okay performance, and then it just all pretty much fell apart when Xhaka got sent off. And that's all I can say to that, to be honest.
I guess the positive is Arsenal were, not that they were really threatening, but they were starting to get ahead of steam up until that Xhaka red card.
Yeah. Then
and then obviously it just all went wrong.
yeah,
It allowed Burnley to actually get the impetus, hold on to the ball, get some possession, get some control. So
because up
Did you
until
see the result being different with Xhaka still being on the pitch?
yeah, because to be honest, sort of 5 minutes in, 10 minutes in, it was at the point where it was like it was almost inevitable. Even the commentators were saying that an Arsenal goal seems like it's coming. It was almost inevitable that Arsenal were going to score. But then obviously when you go down to 10 men, because even the whole match,
momentum swings, doesn't it?
yeah, the frustrating thing is the whole match, Burnley weren't even trying to play football. Because even if you look, when the ball just went straight back to Pope, even with no pressure, like no one chasing him down, he would just straight away punt it straight up the field. Every single time. It's not like they were trying to build up, trying to invite them onto us, and they weren't even trying to. In my head, I kind of almost saw it as if like they came to play for a draw. And then when obviously the circumstance presented itself, they were like, oh, we might as well try and go for it now. They're down to 10 men. Why not? Which, fair enough. They did, even though it was an own goal by Aubameyang. But yeah, it is what it is, to be honest. Not sure if you guys have anything else you want to add, say.
Yeah, well, I watched some of the games, and I thought Arsenal, like you said, they looked like it was going to be Arsenal that was going to get a goal if there was going to be any team. And I would say that without the red card, Arsenal would definitely have not lost. I can't obviously for certain say Arsenal would have scored because goal scoring hasn't been very good this season. But I definitely would have not lost. So obviously Xhaka basically handed that game over to Burnley.
And even what's mad to this day,
at that point, what can Arteta do?
He still hasn't come out
players on the pitch,
to apologize. But to me, that's the other thing, I guess. The thing that fans were having a go at Arteta for, which I rightly say, like, from the loss to Tottenham, where as you guys know, I didn't think we played particularly well. He still retained the same team, apart from an enforced change, bringing in El Neni for Thomas Partey. But it's almost like he's rewarding players for losing, which I didn't get, because Bellerin had an awful game at Tottenham, and so did Xhaka. He had an awful game as well. But instead of bringing in Ceballos, especially the fact that you've got El Neni in the team already, we're playing Burnley. It's not like they're going to be posing a great deal of threat attacking wise. Why not just play Ceballos? Someone who does offer a little bit more of a threat going forward than Xhaka. And also even another option, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, either at right back or in midfield. I mean, we talked about all this before the game in the preview with you guys, and I was saying I would personally like to see Xhaka and Bellerin dropped out the team, but that wasn't to be. So yeah. I think that for me, those kind of decisions, I guess now the positive is Xhaka's not going to be available for the next 3 games. And Bellerin's also not going to be available next game. So they're enforced changes, but it is a little bit worrying, the fact that we're losing and he's not really changing the team apart from enforced changes due to injury. But anyway,
should El Neni have been sent off as well?
Personally, I think so, because I don't. Obviously, Xhaka's was around the neck, but he still raised his hands. And I was a little bit confused as to why the ref didn't go and look at that one on the screen as well, because I'm pretty sure if he did, that would have been a red card. He would have sent El Neni off, but he didn't for some reason. But he did Xhaka's one, which was also weird. And yeah, I do think he should have been sent off. Matt.
Yeah, I had a quick look at the Ononi one. I didn't replay it back, so I'm not exactly certain. But it did look like he basically aggressively pushed the player and then went down himself.
Yeah,
for no reason.
Is
that what it was?
When players do something, they're like, oh snap, I may have screwed up here.
I better go down as well.
To make it look like something else, like almost like it was a coming together kind of incident, even though he literally just shoved Tarkowski in the face, like both hands full on. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's another sending off. That's another sending. And
Why can't they easily double up the yellow cards? Because you could technically yellow card, like if you did argue with the referee in terms of the shove in the face wasn't a red, like yellow card for that and then yellow card for simulation anyways. Like, why can't he do both parts as two separate incidents?
Yeah,
Do you think that's possible?
I don't know.
Why did he even push him in the first place? It just seemed a bit random.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I don't know, Nappy, to be honest. I would be lying to you, because this is the thing that some people are now sort of speculating that they could show, because with Xhaka, it's expected. You know, he has one of these moments every so often, but with El Neni, completely out of character. With Pepe, completely out of character. Pepe's, that was his first ever red card in his whole career. And El Neni is not the kind of player who would do that. So people are now sort of speculating that it could sort of be showing the growing frustration, or the growing frustration.
Is he losing the dressing room?
I was going to say in the current situation, the current form that the team is going through. You know, the players are getting frustrated either at each other, at the manager, or what, I don't know. But even in saying, is he losing the dressing room, I'm not too sure, because there's quite a few players that are still coming out and passionately speaking, backing the manager, saying that it's not the manager at all. He's given us the tools, but we're just not doing it on the pitch.
It's just pure frustration in general.
Yeah,
amongst each other.
Yeah, but yeah, who knows?
It is worrying.
But what I'd say about that is, I remember like the same with Mourinho and Van Gaal. Players would come out in support of them, and only then later on, you know, after a while they've been sacked, would some players come out and actually say how bad the spirit in that was.
Yeah,
I think it's always worse when teams are losing, and it's always better when you're winning. Like when you're winning, you could forget about all the problems you have, and then when you're losing, they all come to the surface, and it all gets amplified, doesn't it?
Which then sort of touches on something quickly, that the quote that Freddie Ljungberg said essentially when he left Arsenal, like pretty soon after he left Arsenal, was that when he was in charge as an interim manager at Arsenal, he pretty much said, I warned the board that they need to get rid of the majority of this squad, because a lot of these players don't actually care about playing for Arsenal. Which, yeah, it is very, very worrying. And I'm assuming that he would have said pretty much the same thing to Arteta, whether Arteta listened or thought he wasn't talking nonsense or not, but he certainly would be realizing that now. But yeah, I guess
is the red card record a concern under Arteta?
I don't know, to be honest, personally, because like Shihab was saying, you know, the majority of them were David Luiz, and when things are going well, it's not anything. Essentially, it's interpreted differently. You know, if things are going well, people, you know, they're showing a lot more fight, a lot more desire, a lot more passion on the pitch, etc., etc. But because things are not going well, it's easily also interpreted as, well, you know, there's a lack of discipline, there's a lack of this, there's a lack of that. So I guess it's always the fine margins that we're always mentioning, you know, that
when you're comparing it to the other teams, though, like they've got 4 more red cards than any other team.
Yeah,
and then the next
since Arteta came in. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Even if you look at that, like 3 of them alone are David Luiz, which, yeah, it's him just getting in situations and doing what David Luiz does, I guess. But the worrying thing is, you know, you had Pepe's incident, 3 weeks ago, and then now, less than a month, Xhaka's essentially doing the same stupid thing, you know. So there probably is something to it, but yeah, I don't know, to be honest. I don't know. But yeah, it is, like you said, it is worrying times, to be fair.
Talking of worrying, got Southampton next.
Yeah, and I'm not like I said. The only sort of good thing I'm like happy about is the fact that Xhaka is not going to be playing and Bellerin are not going to be playing. That's the only benefit.
Do you think Southampton go into this as favourites based on form?
Or they'll have
Do you
to.
think a lot of teams will have
They'll have
Southampton
to.
as favourites for this?
Yeah, they'll have to because
You can't even weigh it with the Emirates because Arsenal's form is poor at home.
yeah,
So that doesn't even sway it towards Arsenal.
yeah.
And I think Arsenal could be in big trouble with the way Southampton are playing at the moment.
And if we lose that game, that'll be the first time we've lost 5 consecutive home games in the history of the club ever. So
I would not be shocked at all.
no,
I'll be more shocked to see Arsenal win than I would to
Yeah.
see Southampton win.
I don't think Arsenal.
I think that
I
says a lot.
generally don't think Arsenal will win. I don't know if you remember, like our good friend Robbie, he put the odds in the group chat, and then I was like, oh, that's sweet. And then I went all I can't remember what they were. I went all out and put a whole £2 on Southampton to win. That at least if
for
they
this game?
yeah. So at least if they win, within the pain, I will feel a tiny bit of joy. But yeah, I'm being deadly serious. I don't see how Arsenal win this game at all. I
think it's the time to start putting some of the kids in a bit, because obviously in Europe it's near enough a complete rotation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them are impressing in Europa League. Obviously, have you guys won every game, or you top the group?
Yeah,
you won most of your games.
That's Elliot from the Arsenal Vision podcast. He was like, "Oh, we had an invincible season, invincible group stage season. We won every single game." Yeah.
So yeah, is it time to start putting a few of them in? Because
it's
the
risky.
ones that are getting in week in, week out are letting you down. Like, what's the harm now?
I'm saying a lot of the fan base are saying this and saying, "Oh, they can't do much worse than what the young." But for me, the way I look at it is, it's incredibly risky because
I wouldn't swap them all out though.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying 1 or 2 here to freshen it up.
Yeah, I do agree. One I would definitely want is Emil Smith Rowe, because he's playing Lacazette as essentially as a number 10, whereas Emil Smith Rowe plays that kind of position anyway naturally, and he's played like a game and a bit for us. And when he's come on, he got an assist, and then the last game he got an assist as well. So he got a goal and an assist the first appearance, and then last game he got an assist. So yeah, I definitely would try him, put him in that position. Martinelli's just come back as well. He's one that, yeah, in terms of his spirit and work ethic, that just his presence is something that I think we will need as well. But yeah, for me,
I think just going out with the same team is not.
That's what I'm saying. It's an issue. I don't understand why he's doing that. Like, it's almost like he's just persisting. What's the quote? Like, a sign of madness is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result. Which is what he's doing. He's persisting with the same lineup and expecting them to just all of a sudden click. And another one is, I'm expecting Pepe to start the game against Southampton. Don't want to see Willian in the starting lineup. But knowing Arteta, Willian will probably start, and then Pepe come in. But anyway, I guess moving on to the Liverpool game. For me personally, that did not turn out how I expected it to be honest. I did expect Fulham to put up a bit of a fight, but not the way that the first half they came out the blocks flying, and it was essentially like that the whole half. They didn't stop at all. It was only sort of the second half that you saw them drop off a little bit. But I thought the first half they were absolutely phenomenal, to be honest. And it's one of those where if they continue the way they are playing right now, I would probably tip them to stay up. So yeah, I don't know what your thoughts were, especially on the formation and lineup as well, Shabs.
So lineup is what I expected. I think it's exactly what I said. I did say initially that would be between Jota and Salah to start, but obviously Jota got injured anyway, so it meant the regular front three. And in the midfield, and the defense is what I expected it to be. But yeah, we got caught cold for the first 30 to 40 minutes, I'd say. Last 5 minutes of the first half, we started to get some sort of rhythm, but wow, they could have been 3 or 4-0 up in that first half, and we have Alisson to thank basically for that. Great finish for their goal. Great pass by Lookman as well. I thought he was pretty much unplayable in the first half, but we missed every pass. Like, we couldn't make a pass. We weren't winning the second balls, third balls. We weren't winning the first headers. Like, we literally couldn't do any worse.
It's the pressure that they were putting you under, I think, because they were on you, like almost like a lead style.
We should expect that, but it's just, yeah, but like we should expect that kind of energy to come from a team that's like down in the relegation, up against the champions. You always, give extra against the champions, and on top of that, you got your first game with your fans back. Like, our players should have gone into that game expecting all of that. But yeah, they were just like, the quality was not there at all, and we had the Villa game where it kind of looked like a bit like that as well. But there were certain other things in the Villa game, like certain mistakes and stuff that didn't help. But in this game, like, that's for this season, that's probably the worst like first 30, 35 minutes I've seen from us, and it's not something you'd expect to see from a Klopp team. Like, you might not always get the quality come through, but the hard work, the intensity,
what part of me
that
thought,
kind of stuff is all there, and it just wasn't there.
What part of me thought is that the players, it's almost like they turned up expecting to win, if you know what I mean. Like, they were just...
it's that natural arrogance you build as champions, where you think you go out, you do your bit.
Plus, as well, like, just that idea that it's Fulham. Fulham have been pretty poor, but obviously performances have picked up recently. But the way everyone's sort of been talking about Fulham, I feel like they had that sort of arrogance that we should be able to win this easily, and then almost like show, because there's a clip where you see Klopp going absolutely mental.
Oh, he went mad in the first half. He went mad.
Wake up! That kind of thing. Like, he was going I think it was at Salah, like, because it was after Salah had just sort of the moment where the ball came to him and he was pushed in the back. I do think he was pushed in the back, even though he made the most of it. I think
he made the most of it, but
Klopp was sort of telling him, like, hold the ball up, be stronger, kind of thing. And then he was going mental at the players out there.
Based on how well Salah can hold the ball when you don't expect him to, he shouldn't be pushed like that. But he tried to win a foul because we were under pressure in our box. So he tried to be clever with that, and the referee chose not to accept it. But it was a push in the back. Like, it wasn't enough to do what Salah did. And we got to accept it. If he's not going to give it, then you got to be alert to stop the finish. But it was a really good finish.
It was a really good finish.
Second half was a lot better. We had our moments. Henderson had a big chance. They went near post and probably should have gone across goal. Curtis Jones nearly...
What a run.
If he finished it...
Run? In the second half,
very, very good chance of a goal of a season contender. The way he went through that team, but it's like he got to the end and all his energy ran out. It's just like he couldn't do anything.
It was literally from your half, and then it bounced off a few players, kept on going through, and I was like, "What's a right?" He looks like he's going to be some player. To be fair, he already is. But
like I said, like, he's going under the radar. He's only 18. Like, he's going completely under the radar. And last 3 games he started, like last 3 Premier League games he started, so he's starting to get a bit of run in the team. Obviously, with those injuries we have in midfield, it's given him a chance, and he's taken it. So he had that chance, and then we got the penalty in the end that Salah scored, and we got away with it. Basically, we came out of there, and I think in a way, Klopp was laughing kind of in a way at the end, or smiling at the end, because he knew we got out of that game with a draw, a point that we shouldn't have got. We were that poor in the first half. We should have not come away with any points.
Speaking of that, actually, what was your take on the penalty? Because I've watched it a few times back. Initially, I was like, it was a bit so, but I do think it was probably a penalty. If I'm honest,
we can argue all we want about it, but in the end, I think based on the law, that is a penalty. He can say he turned away from the ball, but your arms up in the air, it's going to be given.
I'm talking about the Fabinho one.
Oh, the Fabinho one.
Yeah.
I thought you were about their handball.
No.
I
For me,
think
that was a penalty. That one for me. But the
the
Fabinho one, that's the
Fabinho
one I was
one.
saying. I think that was also a penalty, personally.
I think there's enough doubt in that it shouldn't. It was right to not be overturned. I think also if the ref had given it, he would have not overturned it either. I think it's fair to make that point.
Yeah.
But I would say, based on the way VAR is meant to be implemented, I wouldn't overturn that decision. I think he did the right thing to not overturn it, because I don't think it was a clear and obvious. Because the first angle they showed, I was looking at it and I goes, "Oh, he's going to give this. This is a
It's the
penalty."
second angle that
And then they
messes
showed the
it up a
second
bit.
angle,
Yeah.
and what it looks like is that player, the Fulham player, he puts his foot up, and as he put his foot up in the air, Firmino goes underneath him and
Fabinho.
kicks the ball. That's
Yeah.
what that second angle, Fabinho, sorry,
Yeah.
goes under him and kicks the ball away. So that's what that second angle makes. And I think that second angle gives enough doubt to not be overturned. And I think that's what the main point is. The main point is the referee made the decision not to give a pen, and I don't think the camera angles was enough certainty to overturn that pen.
Yeah, I do
That'd be
think
my point
I
on
do
it.
think it's almost like two pieces of evidence put forward. You know, the first angle was one showing that it is a penalty. The second angle was one showing that it isn't a penalty. Which then kind of confuses
based on
things.
that.
Obviously. But
What do you think, Nabi? I wonder what Nabi's thoughts are.
I thought, after looking at the replays, that it was a penalty, but I was not unhappy, not glad, but not unhappy to see that he went to the monitor and didn't change his decision. I think that was
that was a very good moment, I think.
That was an unwanted pattern, the way they kept going to the monitor and changing it.
Yeah.
Irrelevant what happens. So I think it's good he didn't change it, but I did think it was a penalty.
You don't think that second angle puts enough doubt in it to not overturn it? Because it does. VAR is only there to change the decisions that are clear and obvious, and I think that second angle gives enough doubt to not overturn it.
It gives doubt, but I think he does get his foot first, and then he tackles his foot, and then the Fulham player's foot is what knocks the ball out, rather than Fabinho.
Because I think the second angle makes it look like he got underneath his foot.
No, I suppose the point Nabi's making, that it makes it look that way, but that's not the case. The actual case is the fact that, Fabinho does take away the Fulham player's the leg that he was about to stand on, and then the Fulham player's foot then kicks the ball out rather than Fabinho's foot kicking the ball out.
Because the ref saw that second angle, and the moment he saw that second angle, that's when he decided that it wasn't a pen.
Yeah.
Once he saw that angle.
But
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, obviously, because you're looking it through with your red tinted glasses, aren't
you?
So.
The also thing, it shows that the ref's actually taking ownership on the pitch and not VAR.
That was a good moment.
Look at the screen because we're making you change it.
Yeah, basically. like Nabi said, that was a good moment. I think even Jay McHarger mentioned it in commentary that it's a good thing that he went there, checked it out, and still stuck with his decision. But yeah, it is.
But yeah, the main thing is we got out of that.
I was slightly disappointed with the result, though. I wanted you guys to win.
I know, but we got the big one now, don't we?
Yeah.
But I just want to bring up, has this something that has been coming? Because there's 3 games I want to bring up. Because you didn't have your star man Jota after Klopp needlessly played him in the Champions League game. But 3 games I want to bring up. Brighton, Liverpool. Jota gets you the goal, 60th minute, before obviously the penalty shenanigans. At the end, you got the 1-1 draw. The game against West Ham, Jota gets the winner in 68th minute. Game against Sheffield United, Jota gets the winner in the 85th minute. So you think this is something that has been coming? Jota's just been getting you out of the tight games, and without him, this showed.
Because Man has been quiet.
Already been there before. Yeah.
That's what the players are signed for, aren't they? Last season, Mane was the one getting us those those goals, those winners. He was mainly getting winners. I think Salah was getting more goals, but Mane was getting more winners. Like, he was getting the one goal and stuff. And we had so many tight games in the last season, in the so-called easy championship season. And I think that's just how seasons are. Like, that Leicester game last season where Milner scored a penalty when Mane got fouled in the 95th minute. The Villa game, we were 1-0 down with like 3 minutes to go. So I think this season's one of those seasons where you're going to have performances like that. And they always say, as the saying goes, is champions, get themselves out of it. Like, they have bad performances, they come away with draws and wins.
Should
and
one
stuff.
of the others, should Mane, Salah, Firmino, should one of them not be stepping up?
Well, it's a bit harsh to say that when for 3 seasons they've been near enough to the best front three out there. So to suddenly go, oh, they need to be stepping up. Yes, they should get more goals, but I wouldn't doubt their abilities or doubt their form. Like, Mane does need to get a goal in him, but Salah's been scoring still, and Firmino doesn't really score anyways. So he didn't score last season either much. So,
But according to you, he's
I don't have issue. Like, I know it's disappointing that Jota's injured because we can't rotate out, but I'm not sat here worried because we've only got Mane, Salah, and Firmino. Because if that's our worry, then we got a luxury compared to the rest of the teams, haven't we? If our worry is the fact that we've only got Origi's awful. Like, I know he's a legend for what he's done, but he's just awful. And that's the problem, is when the 3 don't score. Well, Salah did, but when the 3 aren't as effective as they should be, our bench of Origi doesn't offer the quality that Jota does, because Jota's near enough of the quality of the front 3, whereas Origi's not. So him coming on reduces our quality levels. But yeah, I'm not worried if these guys can get form. It's just the problem is we're going to need rotations during this festive period, and it would have been much, much better to have Jota as part of the rotation than what we got right now. But you might see Ox coming into the front 3, which he's done before as a rotation. So Minamino maybe will start joining the front 3 a little bit more.
Minamino's pretty pointless though, isn't he?
Naby has enough.
Well, he's actually never been played in the position that he actually should be. He's kind of a Firmino type position player. And every time he's played, he's been out of position, or he's played around players like Origi and stuff. Like, in normal circumstances, he's coming on for like Carling Cup games and stuff. Whereas him, Origi, and Shaqiri up top. And yeah, it's a bit like he's not come good yet, but he's a better bench player than what Origi is. And you're not always going to have a world-class player on the bench, because then you always have to pay the wages.
Origi's complete trash, so being better than Origi isn't that much of a statement. I'm not saying I watched a lot of them.
Origi scored a Champions League final winning goal, mate.
Well, now you're defending him.
He's just been poor. He's been poor. Like, he's done what he's needed to do.
You literally just said your state was he is trash, not he has been poor. It was he is trash. So you're essentially
he is now. Oh. But if Minamino can do what Origi's done, which is score winning goals, then I don't care how much trash Minamino is. If he can still have the same effect as Origi has had, then that's not a problem.
I mean, I'm not saying I've seen a lot of them, but whenever I've seen him, I've never seen him make an impact.
Well, Minamino?
Yeah.
He's made impact, just not enough of an impact.
He's got a cool name, though.
Be my...
At least that,
Taki Minamino.
Yeah, I like his name. He's got
Takumi Minamino, I think it is.
Yeah, Tuki.
But yeah, I do think he's being affected by the fact that he seems to end up playing deeper in the midfield, where he should be much further forward. He hasn't come good yet, I'd agree. But that doesn't necessarily mean he can never come good. And
Didn't you say that you didn't expect him to come good either when we had that question about pick a player?
I said if I did doubt someone, it might have been Minamino, yeah. That doesn't mean he's definitely not going to come good. I'm not the oracle.
But I'm just saying, you don't have belief in him.
I've seen the future. He does not come good for Liverpool.
Yeah, but you don't have belief in him. I don't have belief in him. He's not done much yet.
It's fan hope. He's got hope.
He's a £7 million. He's a £7 million doubt, which is what we need to remember.
Fair, to be fair, yeah.
He's not a £95 million flop. There's a difference.
I feel like that was shots fired, and that's a perfect segue into the United game.
Oh, we don't need to discuss Liverpool Spurs. That's fair enough.
No, we're gonna do. I was just gonna do the reviews first, yeah, and then quickly go through the previews. Yeah, Nabi, lineup and game state. How do you feel?
Lineup was. I'm pretty sure I got the lineup spot on in that I said the 10 players that there would be, but there was one mystery place, and that mystery place went to Pogba. But I think the other 10 I said would start, and not much to say really. I think it was kind of a compliment from City really, because they started with two defensive midfielders,
Yeah.
Fernandinho and Rodri, and they finished the game with two defensive midfielders.
I think he was trying to stop your counter attack, because obviously he knows that every time you've played him, the one place you've killed him has been on the counter. You know, because obviously his teams like to get forward like a lot. So, you know, if he's got that extra security, it kind of sort of kills that before it even really begins.
When has Pep ever really done that, though? Either actually gone out to set up his team to stop another team rather than just let his team do his own
But
thing?
when you've lost 3 in a row, what do you expect him to do?
I'm just saying.
He's lost 3 times to Oli, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
If he went into the game allowing this counter-attack and losing, we would call Pep naive.
Yeah.
So to criticise him for stopping that counter...
I'm not criticising. I'm just saying that United have been doing that well, that Pep himself put 2 DMs in the game for the whole game. I mean...
Which is fine. I think he made the right move, and he did make the chance to win that game as well. Just Mahrez didn't take it.
Yeah, I think City had the better chance. Both teams had chances. City had the better chances, but there wasn't really... You couldn't really say our team deserved to win it. They were both pretty reserved throughout the whole game.
What do you think of the...
City were the away team, right? City were the away team.
But I would call it... Because when games like that happen, you know, you don't do much. Both teams take a draw. It's all about what happens after. You know, if United go on to win their next 3-4 games, this is a good point.
For
if
United,
they don't...
Yeah.
If they don't, then this was a game they'll look back and think we should have gone for it. Even probably the same with City as well. It's all about what happens next. If you can go out and win the next few, then this point was a good point.
It also says where United are at the moment, aren't they? Because a United fighting for the title would have gone for it in this game, wouldn't they?
Would they have?
At home?
Why not?
Yeah, I think so.
At home, at Old Trafford?
Yeah, it would have been if you were
away. It's the kind of game you go for.
Yeah.
I'm sure City will go to the Etihad and they'll go for the win in a much different way. But the Old Trafford, they made sure they weren't losing.
Yeah, if you were away, if you were the Etihad, I would understand all it sort of being reserved. But being at Old Trafford, I generally think, United going for the title, you would have gone for to win this game.
They're better away from home than home this season. Their home form's been not good. Their away form is the good form.
Which is fair, but still, like, talking about United at Old Trafford going for the title, like Shab said, in that context, I still think that United would go for that win.
I think Oli just understands where he's at and what his team's level is at the moment, and he's made sure to not lose.
Which I think is still a good thing, because it still keeps him in touch with the top. Because obviously the other results went in his favour.
Oh yeah, it's not the worst thing.
Yeah,
but I'm just pointing out that an Oli team going for the title should be going for a win,
the W,
which suggests he doesn't have that confidence and that kind of stuff at the moment.
It's one spin of putting on it, but I don't think it was a bad result for them. But obviously, like, it all depends on the next games. I need to follow up on it. But review-wise, what's one good thing? They took some good corners. I mean, their usual corner taking is absolutely awful. I mean, they're probably must be the worst corner taking team in the league.
Nah, it's not. It's Arsenal.
So rubbish.
It's Arsenal.
They were one of the worst. I think the last 2 times they scored from a corner, was Harry Maguire against Newcastle this season and against Chelsea last season. Apart from that, nothing. But in this game, they had some good, more threatening chances than they've had before. And as actually Luke Shaw actually took some good corners. I think Tellus coming in has definitely improved him. He's been a better player since Tellus coming in. Now he's obviously, because Tellus, I think, is a known set piece, not specialist, but he's good at set pieces.
Yeah, he's good at them.
So Shaw's obviously like, well, I better up my game in that if I want to be in the team, and he did put in some good corners. So that's how bad the game was. That's the good thing.
That was a
Yeah,
highlight.
it was a snooze fest. It was
Corners
awful.
were the
It was an
highlight.
awful game of football. It's not even worth talking about. It's not even worth reviewing, is it? It was just horrendous.
Well, I'd say it was been reviewed. So
yeah, I was going to say you said that after we've just reviewed the game. I guess now
you know what I mean. Like, there's no point putting any further analysis into that game.
Doing a quick rewind then. To now do the preview. Who are United playing? I guess we just kick off with
Sheffield.
Sorry,
Sheffield United.
Sheffield, yeah.
Away, isn't it?
At home, I think.
How are you feeling about the game? And how do you think it's going to go?
I think they should win because of the form Sheffield United are on. You know, they're on very poor form.
To be fair,
Sheffield United
they're on poor form, but it's not like they're conceding a lot of. For them, it's just like they're not scoring. Sounds like I'm describing Arsenal here, but yeah, for them, it literally is that they're not like shipping a ton of goals. They're just really, really poor up front.
Yeah, so they're away. Yeah, Shab's right. They're away. Yeah, so we've got a really good away form. I know it's been coming from behind, so Sheffield United will have to score first. But going with United's away form, Sheffield United's poor scoring form, I think United should be able to win this. Also, this game last season was a good game.
Sheffield United, yeah.
Yeah, I think Sheffield United aren't what they used to be, and yeah, I would expect United to win, to be honest, this one. With the way Sheffield United are coming into it, the pressure just piling up. I guess you can kind of see this as a free swing, maybe, and that might relax them enough to just go for it, possibly, but looking at
terms of Sheffield United,
without those kind of but looking at it in general, without those, like the possible option of a free swing, looking at the forms of both sides and everything, United great away from home, and Sheffield United poor in general and can't score a goal. You got to give United the win on this one, I think.
Yeah.
Do you think Sheffield United have it in them to just be a go for it team, or do you think that they're so structured, they've been drilled so much that they kind of have to make it work with the way they do?
I think they have to try and make it work with the way they do, but they do have certain. Like, I think they could use Rhian Brewster more than the way they've used him at the moment. Like, they've used players which like try and hold that play, be a bit scruffy, all that kind of stuff. But Rhian's
not that
got enough quality in him where you could, pass and move and open it up and things. And obviously they haven't got the team to play that.
Have they been pairing him up top with McGoldrick or what's the Scottish boy?
Burke.
Ollie McBurney.
Yeah, McBurney.
Burke.
Oh, Burke. That's who he's been partnered with.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm just saying Burke.
Oh yeah, I was thinking like, honestly, just go Burke. But yeah,
Ollie McBurney's the one who starts every game.
I think it probably would be the thought for him to probably do a 2 up front and then just have a Brewster sort of a free roam in and around McBurney or McGoldrick, someone who can actually hold the ball up, lay it off to Brewster with the quality to then obviously start scoring, hopefully. But
yeah, I don't really give them much of a chance. But I guess that's the little glimpse of hope.
Maguire Lindelof should be able to handle it.
Yeah, I guess. But fair enough.
United win this, I think, quite comfortably.
And another quick one. Arsenal, for me, I would say potentially I'm going to go for a 2-0. Well, actually, we should take predictions as well, shouldn't we? Nabi, what's your prediction? for the Sheffield
Which
game.
game are we on now?
No, just going back to the United Sheffield.
I'm going to say 2-0 United.
And Bruno to watch?
I'll go Rashford.
Okay. Shabs?
I think it'll be 2-0 United as well. And I'm going to go with Bruno.
I'm going to go 3-1 United. Sheffield United to score first, and then Manchester United just to go on an absolute rampage after that. And Bruno, my player to watch. And I was going to say for the Arsenal game, for me, it's a quick one. Southampton 2-0. Ings, my player to watch. Or should I go McCarthy? I don't know. I'll go with Ings, actually. 2 seconds. Talk amongst yourself, children.
Oh, yeah, I'll give my thoughts on Southampton then. I think they got much better side than Arsenal at the moment. I think
You'd be
all
disappointed if Southampton didn't win this in Southampton. With the format they're in.
I think they have far more quality all over the pitch. Like, obviously, you can argue about the front line with Arsenal having Aubameyang, but the rest of the team, you got to say Southampton are better, right? That's what I would say.
Yeah. Well, I'd say Ings has probably even matched Aubameyang last season or two. He's been up there with the goals.
Definitely, yeah, in terms of goal scoring and stuff. And he offers a bit more apart from the goal scoring too than what Aubameyang would offer. And then Walcott seems to be found his form again, back at his old stomping ground.
He's going to score.
Adams seems to get on the score sheet a bit more lately.
Theo's definitely.
And then you got the centre backs, so we've got a very good partnership right now, and that's what it's all about with centre backs, isn't it? And they're doing really well together with Walker Peters and Bertrand, and it's a stable back four, which is always what you want. So yeah, I see this being a good win for Southampton.
Scoreline?
I'm going to go with 2-1 Southampton. And
Naby?
I will go with Theo Walcott. It's my place
Naby?
to watch.
I'm going 2-0 Southampton as well, and I'll go Ward-Prowse. I'll even say I'm thinking a Ward-Prowse will score a free kick that'll go through an Arsenal wall that breaks apart.
That's
like their season breaking apart.
Precise, but fair. And you guys got anything else to say?
I've said my piece on the Arsenal game.
Cool.
Yeah, we won the Southampton.
Liverpool at home versus
Arsenal
Tottenham.
will struggle, won't they? That's basically it. Liverpool are at home versus Tottenham. Is this the one that we finally lose our unbeaten run at home in the Premier League? Who knows? Something Mourinho likes to do, isn't it? That kind of thing. It's a Mourinho type moment, isn't it? Pardon?
Is this the one that you would be or have been, will be most worried about out of all of them?
Well, every time there should be a worry, we end up doing a very good performance. Like, people start to doubt us with the Wolves game. Next minute it was 4-0.
Yeah, but I guess Wolves are a bit of a
different
beast to Tottenham at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, but people did start to doubt us with our injuries and stuff, and the way Wolves beat Arsenal. I know Arsenal ain't the same beast that you're beating, but it was a very good performance by Wolves in that game. They're drawing 1-1 again. I think they drew 1-1 against Chelsea.
I guess the point I'm trying to make is that the teams, they're. I guess comparing them to Arsenal at the moment, the way they approach Liverpool versus the way they approach Arsenal is completely different. Like, Wolves went back 4 against us. They essentially experimented when they played against us. Whereas
they went back 4 against us.
Oh yeah, you did mention this actually. But that would, I guess, that probably
they went back 4, but it's obviously we also played really well against Wolves, and they did make a few mistakes. But this will be the tough one. We will have all the possession. Tottenham will play on the counter-attack as they have been. Whether we can stop them, I'm not comfortable believing that we will, especially with the fact that we're not sure Matip starts. Came off injured last game.
Grass is
the hope
green.
is that he will, but it doesn't look likely. And if he doesn't start, does that mean that Phillips comes in, or does that mean you have a Fabinho, Jordan Henderson back pairing? But I don't know where we go with that. And when you have doubts about your back line, going up against Kane and Son isn't ideal at all.
Yeah.
But it is Anfield. So I would like to expect us to win.
So what would be your predicted score be?
I don't think we definitely keep a clean sheet, so I'm going to go with a tight and cagey 2-1 to Liverpool, where Mo Salah scores a penalty to win it.
Nabi?
I'm just going back to my usual 2-2. And Son to watch.
I'm going to go for 2-1 as well to Liverpool, and Salah as well to watch. Who's he got? Well, it could be Mane actually, because he see him doing well against what's his face? Tottenham's right, Serge Aurier. Because he's good going forward, but he's not the best going back.
But then he'll have cover because Mourinho's style of play will be to just cover.
Sissoko usually goes that side and
it'll be a
offers
tough
additional
game.
cover.
And I think it's one where we have to not lose, but Liverpool will go into it looking for the win because it's Anfield and that's what we do. We're champions. We've got to go looking for the win. Yeah. But as a fan, I'd just want to make sure we don't lose that game.
Are you just trying to get the word champions as many times
honestly, like...
Mate, it's been 30 years. I can say it 30 times on this chat for one. It's not a problem.
I guess now moving on to the fantasy football updates. Obviously, it started off this week. I had an awful week again last week. Not sure if you guys want to update. Like, honestly, I know people listening will be like, oh, you sound really down this week. Yeah, just because I hate football right now. Fantasy football is going horribly wrong. Arsenal horribly wrong. So yeah, I hate football right now. Shabs, I don't know if you want to talk about your fantasy football team.
My team ended up, like, in comparison to Naby, it wasn't good enough to
look at him. Look, he's so smug of himself. Look
while he smirks.
Yeah, he's so smug.
But Vardy captain saved me to get me a decent enough points, and overall it was above average and stuff, so it wasn't as bad as it could have been. And I made I extended the gap to you, which is also kind of as important because, you know, the forfeit is on the person who finishes last. So that's also another thing to make sure, so I increase that gap. And then I was going to say one last thing, just talking about the midweek fixtures. I brought in Foden, so I'm hoping he gets something.
Well, he started as well, didn't he? And I brought in Fernan Torres and he's benched. That pretty much kind of sums up how my
other guy, Mahrez, got benched, so it's not working that well. But Naby knows everything because he's the one doing well, obviously. So go on, Naby.
Well, I got a nice 83 points. 4 players who got double figures, including Captain Salah, that very nice lucky penalty. Bednarek got me 12 points. Justin got me 11 points off the bench. And the golden boy, Maddison, got me a nice 16 points. So that obviously added up to a very nice week. But because of Klopp and his selfishness, I had to transfer out Jota. And I brought in Bamford. But I know it's easy to say now, but I probably should have looked into Giroud. But I've brought in Bamford and Souček to hoisting up the bench. So I'm hoping that can continue with big points. But we shall see. It's quite a big gap though between us, Tin. I think if I get ahead of you if I end this game week about 30 odd game weeks ahead of you, the gap's about 200 now.
What's the gap to me?
What, me and you or you and Tim?
No, me and you.
Gap at the moment is 80 points.
That is catchable still.
Yes. Yeah. Especially with your chips.
Yeah.
Anywho,
I think my gap to T is 80 points as well. Roughly.
It's 90, I think.
Oh, 90.
Yeah,
Yeah, so your gap to him is 170 at the moment.
If you think you can catch me, then that means you expect he can catch you.
Well, I don't expect to catch you, but I hope I can.
I don't have any hope at all.
But it's got to start soon. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't have that hope, and then 10 game weeks later, it's still at 80. It's just going to get harder and harder. I need to start catching. But
take some chances.
Yeah, that's the problem. You take the chances, and if it doesn't work out, you take the safe bets, and it does work out, and it just makes it worse. We'll see though. It's like I've not done bad. Like I've had the odd week where I've gained 5 points here and there, and then you've obviously had this big week where you've gained like 20. So is what it is.
And on that, we shall finish this week's podcast. We'll leave our socials in the description below. And as ever, please make sure you follow, you like, you interact. And until next time, Tonan.